Welcome to the AR Performance Squash Advantage, hosted by me, Ahad Raza, a former PSA touring pro turned elite performance mentor and coach. I break down tactics, technique, fitness, and mindset by analyzing players from the past and present, both men and women. I aspire to teach, empower, and guide transformation. Let's get started. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for showing your appreciation for the recent Tariq Moment warm-up video that I posted. What I'm doing today is I'm taking the highlights that PSA Squash TV has posted from round 2 between Marwan Shorbagy and Mohamed Abouelghar on YouTube. I've basically recorded that. I'm going to share it with you, but we're going to talk through the tactical element of the highlights that they have shared on YouTube. So check this out. Before we get into the video, I'm going to share with you several coaching tips, and I encourage you to think about these and look at these things in the video when you watch them, and then also think about these and reflect upon your own game and see if you can apply these concepts. So let me go to the coaching tips really quickly. So here we go. Number 1, you're gonna see that, and you probably already know this, but it's good review. All squash is built on good length and then hunting. Pin your opponent in the back corner, get on the tee, look for the volley, look for them to hit something weak and then attack that ball. The thing you see a lot of players do is that they play the simple attack. So they go for the low risk, high impact, high probability attack. So that could be a kill shot instead of a cross-court nick. They don't try to attack when they're out of position. So if the ball's behind them, they're generally not trying to attack from that position. And then when they do attack, they look to follow up, so they hunt after that. Now, depending on your level of play, if you're a beginner, if you put in one attack, you might just win the rally right away. At higher levels, you have to put the attack in, and then you have to follow it up, and then follow that up. But that also ties into point 5 that I have on the screen, which is if you are attacking, you need to reset when your opponent hits a good enough shot. So and this goes back to one of the previous videos where I talked about respecting your opponent's shot. Now, we've talked about patterns a lot, so you're going to notice that these players play in certain patterns, and then oftentimes when you introduce a new shot from the same position that your opponent hasn't seen so far in the game or the match, chances are you're probably going to win that point outright, or you're really going to put your opponent under pressure. So that's this idea of creating patterns and then breaking patterns. And then the last main thing that I've listed over here is to play to your strengths and attack your opponent's weaknesses. And this is where you have to have a lot of self-awareness, because you got to know what you're comfortable with, what you win, where you win most of your points. And then if you've played someone more than once, you start to get a feel of where they're strong, where they're weak, and you can attack their weaknesses. And then point number 4, actually, I jumped over that. You will notice that even these best players in Marwan and Mohamed is that they defend when they're under pressure. They lift that ball up and they give themselves time. So let's get into the video. I'm gonna talk a little bit as we go through it. If there's a really salient point that I feel I really want to emphasize, I'll pause it. I might rewind it a little bit and then we can watch it again. So it's about 6 minutes, I believe, which is the portion that they put up on YouTube. So that's what we're gonna watch here. So get ready. So they're just starting off in the first game at 3-2. Notice the players are trying to keep that ball tight to the wall. They're jockeying for position on that backhand. See, Mohamed was under pressure, he lobbed. And then Marwan in that situation, see, now this is where skill comes in big time, right? So Marwan is a super high level player. Mohamed is under pressure, so he uses a ton of height to try to reset that rally. Unfortunately, it's not tight enough, so it's kind of one step off the tee for Marwan. And he's developed this skill and the shot by practicing it so much that he's able to put it into the nick. And it's perfect because he's putting the ball into this front corner when Mohamed is still kind of in the back left. Perfect execution, no chance. You see the players are once again jockeying for position, using height on the front wall to get the ball back as well. See, they're not, there you go, using that height to get into the back. Changing up pace is a big one. A lot of amateurs kind of hit one pace. Changing up the pace is huge to throw off your opponent's movement. And that's just an example of perfect length. You see Mohamed had a bit of an angle. They're going to show it again. He had a bit of an angle here, and he really found that angle into that back corner. So here we go, more jockeying for position. Opening comes in, takes the attack, follows it up. But now the rally is reset again. So you just got to reset at that point. Ooh, that's unlucky. So Mohamed read that, but he just couldn't execute. And actually, let me show you part of that reason. So you see, even before Marwan's fully executed that shot, Mohamed is already moving to the right because he sees that cross court coming. Marwan hits it pretty loose. It's coming right onto Mohamed's racket. But that ball's quite low. Now, the super high-level, high-skilled players will execute the shot fairly consistently. But this is another mistake that a lot of amateurs make, is that that ball might be really low. It's tough to take a volley when it's under your knee, because if you think about it, just even relative to the height of the tin, the ball is already more or less tin height. So if you are going and hitting a shot when the ball's already at tin height, you can't hit down on it. You have to hit up slightly, because even if you hit across, it's probably going to clip that tin. Now, if you're attacking short and you're hitting up onto the front wall, that ball's going to come back. You don't want that ball coming back. You want to be hitting down on that ball so that that ball can go onto the front wall and actually try to fade. Whether it's a kill or a volley drop, doesn't matter. You don't want to be attacking hitting upwards. You want to be attacking hitting down. So if you try to attack when it's too low, then you have a high chance of hitting the tin. Again, the pros can execute this in different ways. Maybe a short kill would have been a better shot over here, but the pros are also playing on a lower tin. It's obviously tough to tell exactly how high that ball is over here from this camera angle, but they're playing on a tin that's 2 inches lower than what you and I typically play on, so that makes it a little bit trickier as well. Or rather, it makes it a little bit more feasible for Mohamed to attack that ball with a drop. Let's keep going. So Marwan squeezes a tight length, and there's perfect defending from Mohamed. And then Marwan resets the rally, and they're jockeying for position again. Ooh, lucky bounce. Nice simple drop, squeezing that ball to the side wall. And that's a change of pattern. So far, Mohamed had not really hit the boast. So first thing, nice tight squeeze. And then Marwan's momentum is moving to the back left, and Mohamed hits that boast to send him back into that front corner. And it's a shot that he hasn't played, so he just broke a pattern. Nice defending when he's under pressure. Hunting that volley. They're really jockeying for position. It's a little bit loose. That's a nice line. And then he gets the attack and he finishes it. So see, that's like a 1-2 punch combo like we've talked about in previous videos. You're going to see Mohamed sets it up here with this length. Look how cleanly and crisply he hits through this ball. First bounce, kind of first part of the service box, but it's low, hard, and tight. That forces Marwan to have to scrape it off the side wall. Pops up the loose ball, and then Mohamed is ready to attack that next ball. So the first punch was the length, second punch is the drop. There's that length, squeezed, and perfect execution on the attack. Nice use of height again. That's that defending I was talking about. And that's a good line by Marwan, and then he's hunting the next ball. And then Mohamed defends. It was a loose defense because Marwan's drop was really, really tight. But I think Marwan had given up on this game by that point anyways. Again, jockeying for position. It's good width to prevent the volley. So that's one thing you guys can think about. If you're playing an opponent that's volleying a lot, so check this out. When Marwan hits this cross, he hits it super wide, so it catches the side wall in the middle of the service box. And what that does is the ball comes here, and if your opponent's on the tee and they're looking to volley, that ball is as far away from them as possible. So again, if you're playing someone who volleys a lot, hit really wide into the side wall, they're going to go for the volley. And most amateurs do not have the ability to anticipate that, so they commit really early, and then they have a really difficult time at readjusting their movement to the back of the court. Over here, Mohamed, being the player that he is of his caliber, he sees that wide cross court, so he doesn't chase it going straight into the service box. He automatically starts moving back. So that's the movement pattern you want to use if someone uses that shot against you. And you see he comes straight back looking for that ball because he knows it's going wide, and then he resets it again. Again, they're jockeying for position. Change of pace. Nice change of pace. And then look at that change of pace. So Mohamed just hit a couple of hard balls, or a couple of soft balls. See, they're both playing soft, soft. He squeezes Marwan. Marwan hits something a little bit loose. And now this is not loose, but you see it's a good, what, like maybe six planks off the side wall, which for these guys is a fair bit of space. And that gives Mohamed the angle to go front wall and then catch that nick. So it's all margins, right? Like for most amateurs, you might need a huge angle to try to go for that nick. For the top players, they need a small angle to go for that nick and hug that side wall. And all of a sudden, Mohamed changes the pace and ball's glued, winner. That's a great shot. Nice defense. Marwan is volleying. That's loose. Puts the simple ball in, winner. See, that's where it doesn't need to be complicated. It does not even need to be close to perfect. Like, that was actually close to perfect. Look where this ball hits. He catches the nick. It rolls out well before Mohamed can get there. If you're an amateur and your opponent's stuck way behind you, you don't need it to be that perfect, because then you're risking hitting the tin. It can be this high above the tin, but your opponent's probably not going to get that ball if they're stuck in that back corner. You just need to keep it into that front corner. So oftentimes I see people hitting the ball kind of, they'll hold it and they'll play a cross court back to where their opponent was, but their opponent hasn't even moved. So you're literally hitting the ball right back to your opponent. So play the simple shot, hit to the open part of the court, and then next time, if your opponent starts running for those and reading those, then you can hit it back in the same corner where your opponent just came from, because now you're going to be working against their momentum. They're going to be coming forward, you're going to hit the ball back past them. That's an example of patterns and breaking patterns. And here Marwan's changing the direction quite well over here. And then one loose ball, and Mohamed attacks it. And Mohamed changed the pattern there again with that cross-court kill. And there's that cross kill again. Nice drop. I see Marwan didn't do anything complicated there. He just played that simple straight drop into that front corner. Simple straight drop. Kind of shady movement because he moved back instead of coming back to the tee. And that blocked Mohamed's path to the ball, so it's unfortunate that he got a no-let. But that was a good shot. Simple shot, kept it tight to that sidewall. It's the movement that was a little bit cheeky. And there's a nice length into the back of the court. And again, simple drop attack. And there's the punch. So now we're looking at combos, right? So check this out. So Marwan starts with good length. Marwan takes Mohamed short, but for pros, that's a pretty high boast. Mohamed comes in, plays the simple straight drop, keeping that ball tight to the sidewall. Here's punch number one. Marwan comes in, he's able to get it. It's a little bit loose. And Mohamed jumps on it early, hits it straight down the wall to continue to apply pressure. Marwan knows that if he goes on this side, unless that shot is perfect, Mohamed is in volley position, so he tries to go across him with the cross court. Hitting that cross court when the ball's behind you when you're under a bit of pressure is not an easy shot to execute. And we see that with that loose ball. And Mohamed, look how early he's ready. His racket's already ready to get on the volley. Puts that volley in with the perfect execution. So, I mean, again, remember, guys, I'm talking tactics here. I'm not talking about execution. So you have to go out and practice all these things, right? Like, I'm not showing you how you can practice all those things. I'm showing you the tactical side of it. So I can create videos on how to practice all that stuff too, but that's going to be more like coaching that I have to deliver to you guys. So I can set up some kind of paid virtual lessons if that's something of interest. Leave a comment if you are interested in that. So here's the force, and then Mohamed's volleying. Again, setting up good length in the back. Marwan plays a simple drop, winner. Again, his execution is awesome because it's glued to the sidewall. He catches the nick a little bit, keeps it short, but it's a simple shot that's winning. More rallying for position, and then Marwan's forcing it a bit from the back. I think he had mentally kind of given up on that. He was 5 game balls down, going in, wanted to go strong for the 5th. Ooh, that was nice. So Mohamed typically hits that straight volley drop there. So Marwan hits a nice length. Mohamed, they're fighting on length. Marwan forces the cross. Mohamed reads it super early. And the typical shot, the typical pattern here, you play that volley drop into this front left corner because that's the furthest point for your opponent. And what you'll see, Marwan's momentum is going this way because he knows that the ball is going short in all likelihood, but he's going to the front left because that's the common shot. And then you see him being forced to adjust with that step. But Mohamed's shot is just too good and Marwan can't quite make that ball. So that's an example of breaking patterns. And you'll see it again. That's also an example of poor shot selection from Marwan because he's trying to change the angle from when the ball's a bit behind him, not able to execute it effectively, and then he's putting himself under pressure. So now just comparing those, I'm only going to do this because it's the obvious thing to show. See, Mohamed is also hitting a cross court right now, but look at the difference. See, Marwan can't even be close to volleying that because Mohamed's going higher and the ball is going wider. So if you want to change the angle of play, you really got to focus on those targets. And the ball's coming all the way back, sending Marwan into that back corner. It's a nice hold from Mohamed. Attacking, counter-attack, nice defending. And that's a good finish from Marwan. The defense wasn't high or wide enough, but it was the right attempt at lifting the ball to give himself time. Marwan gave up a little bit, and Mohamed played the high percentage change of pattern shot again, going across Marwan. I mean, Marwan had given up, but just check out the same thing. So Marwan's momentum, you can see, is going this way because the obvious to the front right, the obvious shot here is playing that straight volley drop. And Marwan's moving this way. Mohamed plays it across his body. So Marwan's momentum's going here. Mohamed plays it the other way. Unless, I mean, Marwan had given up because he was down 7 match balls. But that's a tough shot to pick up because you're going across your opponent's body. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that tactical breakdown of a lot of the things that we've talked about in the past. And if you're enjoying these videos, please leave a comment sharing your opinion. Please give it the thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. And if you want to continue to see these kind of videos throughout this El Gouna tournament, please let me know and I will do my best to continue to create them. Have a wonderful day, enjoy the rest of the tournament, and I hope you take a lot out of this video. Have a good one.